Well, I do know a bit, and I know that Michigan has not participated in a lot of the early requests from the Trump administration, and I watched what's happening at the University of Michigan and some of these colleges and universities who are digging in and not going to share information with the feds, whether it's immigration or voting status for that matter. But here's what I think in terms of making sure that Michigan legislature and the Michigan governor's office is really reflective of the people of this state, who they work for. We've got to get smart about playing the short game and playing the long game. The short game is running the tables in 2018, meaning we elect progressives to the governor's mansion, to the Secretary of State's office, and the Attorney General's office. If we take those 3 seats, and hopefully the House, because it really is in play in 18, we can level a lot of the barriers to people for voting. And that changes who serves in the legislature. But the long-term game has got to be changing redistricting in Michigan. Our districts are so gerrymandered right now that when I took my oath of office as the Senate Democratic leader, I looked around at the body of 38 members, and I knew that the result of the election that had just happened, 50% of the people in the state voted for a Democrat for the Senate, and 50% voted for a Republican for the Senate. And if we didn't have gerrymandering, it would have been a 1919 tie. But because it's partisan drawn lines by the legislature picking their constituents as opposed to the other way around, I was the leader of 12 out of 38. Not 1919, the Republicans drew themselves into a supermajority, which changes all the rules in the legislature. And so I'm kind of answering your question, not exactly hitting everything you want me to, but as I think about voting rights and protecting them and encouraging more progressive policy that more people can vote and make it easier and no excuse absentee and vote wherever you live, not at home and when you're a student in college, and on and on and on. There are a couple things that we can do to protect that, but ultimately it's on us to elect leaders who are going to take a stand against the policies in Washington, D.C. when they really are not reflective of our values or even how we interpret our Constitution for that matter. Yes?
My husband is in the military, in the Michigan Air National Guard. We were talking about not taking different groups of people for granted. I just want to encourage you that there are Democrats in the military. Top secret. And so I would encourage you to address them and to make it known that you are there and just to introduce yourselves to them, because it's a big part of our state. Secondly, our region up here is really special in terms of training. We have the Grayling range and also the Alpena range, which is a water range. They work together. We get training here from all over the country, really, but especially this region. And I'm sure you, since you've been in the government for a long time, when the bracs come down and the decreasing in the military happens, it affects our state economically and also our reputation with the other states in terms of military training. So what sorts of things have you seen that maybe you could do to help? Because the governor has a lot to do with the training that comes and the people that come. So what sorts of things do you see that you could do to help us keep our military levels up?
So a governor has a lot of authority, as you pointed out. It comes from the authority to convene and to bring upon pressure on what's going on in Washington, D.C., where budgetary decisions are being made that we have to live by here in Michigan. I look at the Trump budget, and I think there was a missed opportunity by Governor Snyder when he cut the Great Lakes oversight dollars, that as a governor of a Great Lakes state, he could have convened the governors of all the other Great Lakes states and built a bipartisan caucus of all the congressional members from each of those states and really put pressure on the Trump administration that they would not have been able to overcome. But our governor, I don't think, understands how to do that, and it's really hampered him. And then I also usually add on that I would also be happy to reach out to Justin Trudeau, because I love Justin. He's got an interest in the Great Lakes. But I think understanding how you go to Washington, D.C., how you use the leverage inherent in the governor's office. But it's also in who you appoint. Appointing an adjutant general who can be an advocate, who can, the legislature is it is, in term limited era, it is the most unique and toughest thing to navigate at times. And a governor who never had that experience really can struggle with it. And I'm saying even with experience, it'll be hard to navigate at times. But through the appointment process, through the budget building process, through the relationship building, through quadrant meetings, I mean, there are so many things that a governor can do to build allies within the legislature on both sides of the aisle, especially around an issue like our military. That there's a lot of opportunity there that I don't think we've seen anyone really figure out how to build that in a long time, and I think that's an important challenge, and I'm grateful you raised it. Thanks.